Hi, everyone. This is Ottawa County Clerk Justin Roebuck. It is noon and we're just beginning the last event actually of our virtual Honor Award Veteran Expo. We've had a really just a good day of highlighting some of the great businesses in our community and the service organizations within our community that are assisting Ottawa County veterans and really veterans all across West Michigan. Earlier today, we were joined by the MVAA in a discussion on how they are assisting veterans. And today, I'm really excited about this panel that we have. A lot of experts, a lot of people from various organizations within our community who are connected with the veteran community and who are doing really great work for our vets and for their families. So really just a brief introduction. We've had a lot going on today in terms of the Honor Awards Expo, and wanted to kind of fill you guys in on really how this all came to be and how it started. In 2015, we began a program called the Honor Awards Program within our office. And essentially what this is a veteran ID card. The Honor Awards ID is an ID for veterans who could come into our office. County clerks across the state of Michigan and a lot of county clerks' offices across the country, they accept and record for permanent record military discharge papers, or DD-214 records. And so as veterans had been communicating with us over the years, we frequently heard from our veterans that they like the idea of having a county issued veteran ID card. And so that was something that we kind of took on in partnership with an amazing company called Fiddler Technologies. Fiddler has been with us since 2006 as one of our vendors that we use. We began in the Register of Deeds side of our office with Fiddler. They essentially provide the software and the services for us as we electronically store and index all of our land records. So Fiddler's in the land record business. They've since branched out to other avenues and other ways that they're assisting government entities across the country. So Fiddler's a technology company, but what I like to say is Fiddler is really an innovation company. I am so grateful for their leadership, not just in the field of technology, which is the primary avenue that we use them in, but in programs like Honor Awards. So Honor Awards comes from and is really kind of a brainchild of Fiddler Technologies as they work with government offices across the country in many different states. And I am really pleased to be joined today by Scott Moore, who is the Vice President of Sales for Fiddler. He's been with Fiddler for over 17 years now. And Scott is, again, an incredible partnership that we have with this company. He and I go back a number of years. I consider him a friend, but also a real partner in the business that we are in, which is, primarily land records and vital records, but also in the area of serving our veterans, which is just kind of a unique way that Fiddler has decided to partner with a lot of their clients. And Fiddler is a primary sponsor of today's virtual expo as well. So they have not only, given us the tools and resources to help our veterans locally, but they've also contributed financially to the expo, and we're super grateful for them. Grateful to have you on, Scott, with us. Scott is going to be moderating this panel discussion today. And actually with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. So again, thank you to Scott. Thank you to Fiddler, and we'll go ahead and get started.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Justin. I did want to just close the loop a little bit on Honor Rewards, just to answer a couple of questions before we get to the panel here. One last thing about Fiddler, we've been in business since 1854. So that's 167 years. We are, I'm sitting right now in Iowa. I live in Iowa, but Fiddler is a Michigan corporation. We have been since 1854. We're incorporated in Kalamazoo. That's where our articles of incorporation still rest to this day. But over that 167 years, the most consistent thing that we've enjoyed are the freedom and the liberties that all the people on this call have worked very hard to provide for us. So back, a few years ago, we wanted to create a program that was truly just a give back, a recognition program for those veterans. and we came up with honor rewards. It allows counties like Ottawa County and the merchants, let's not forget about the merchants, to express their gratitude towards the veteran community. But again, in closing up, I just wanted to say the most common question I get when talking about honor rewards is that of, it revolves around privacy. So you go to the website, you enter your name and address and email address and phone number and stuff like that. What is done with that? And it's a very simple answer, and the answer is absolutely nothing. There is no capacity within the software to store it, even if we wanted to. Nothing is stored by us. Nothing is stored by the county. You needn't worry about your email being sold to any other list or anything nasty like that. I personally can't stand getting junk emails, and I'm sure you would agree with me on that. It is a very pure and pristine program designed just to recognize your service. So please don't let a privacy concern hold you back. This is being recorded, so you can you can hold me to that. I did want to get to the panelists. We, like Justin said, we have a great panel here. I'm going to read a little bit about each one of them. We're going to start off with Cam Zibikowski. And Cam is with Grand Valley State University, GVSU. And he is the legislative director for the VFW and is also the outgoing president of Laker Vets at Grand Valley State. He is the, I think, the secretary of the alumni chapter, if I have that correct, and is a board member for their School of Business. So we're very happy to have Cam here. Also on is Michael Bao. He is the Muskegon County Department of he's with the Muskegon Department of Veterans Affairs. And since 2018, Bao has served as the director of Muskegon County Department of Veterans Affairs and is an accredited service officer with the National Association of County Veteran Service Officers, also Michigan Association of County Veteran Counselors, the American Legion, the VFW, and Disabled American Veterans. From 2014 to 18, within Muskegon, Michael serves as the County Veteran Service and Programs Coordinator, providing services and resources to more than 13,500 veterans. It's an amazing number. It's fantastic. In addition, he manages the Neighborhood Stabilization Program and the DTE Test and Tune Program, which have brought in over $13 million for home and energy improvements in Muskegon County. He also serves on various committees that to include, but not limited to, the local Continuum of Care and the Suicide Review Committee. As a Veteran Service and Programs Coordinator, Bao works alongside the Director of West Michigan's Veteran Service Center, coordinating services, benefits counseling, managing Veterans Treatment Court, and searching for and applying for grants related to veterans, community service, housing, and any other grants as per the direction of the county administrator. From 2011 to 2014, Michael Bao managed multiple community-related programs that have provided Muskegon County residents over $4 million in home improvements and or healthcare services. He's one of the founding members of the Veterans Treatment Court and has been integral in the county being awarded 2 port security grants with a total value of over $1 million. He holds a BA in management from the University of Phoenix and an MPA with an emphasis in public management from the University of Phoenix. Michael is retired from the United States Navy, is a member of the Michigan Association of County Veterans Counselors, and multiple other organizations. Michael has over 24 years in federal program management and 9 years of experience in public management. Michael and his wife, Denise, have 3 children, all boys, and 1 granddaughter. I'll bet that granddaughter gets just a little bit of attention after all those boys. Cal Taylor is with the Ottawa County Community Health Department. Cal is the coordinator of the Access Center for Community Mental Health of Ottawa County. He has knowledge of how people get connected with mental health and or substance abuse treatment in Ottawa County. His team also helps callers connect with other needed resources like housing assistance, medical services, and a variety of other needs. They help people navigate complicated systems and try to help problem solve obstacles to getting help. He has a phone number down here, but we will be providing those at the end. Amy Ellis is with the VA hospital in Battle Creek. Amy is a civilian, but Amy grew up in as a Navy brat, in her words. She grew up at Andrews Air Force Base. She works at the military hospital there in Battle Creek within the benefits department, and I'm going to let her discuss when she comes on as far as all of that entails. So then going back upstream, we're going to start with Cam, and we're going to ask him to, like Justin alluded to, just give a little narrative as to what services you provide to the community and also to the audience out there. Any questions that you have, you can send them into via the chat window, and we will get to those at an appropriate time. So Cam, on to you.
Thank you very much. So as was stated, I am the outgoing president for Laker Vets at Grand Valley State. One of the big functions of that chapter of Student Veterans of America is to advocate and to lobby for veterans at the university. Some examples of what we've been able to accomplish over the last couple of years with Grand Valley's new president, President Mantella, through advocating and lobbying with her executive staff, we've been able to, the university has created a new Military and Veteran Resource Center, not just on the Allendale campus, but there will be one opening up in the fall, this coming fall semester, and the Center for Health Sciences in Grand Rapids. There's been numerous donations secured, the largest of which was by Peter Secchia before he unfortunately passed away. So we're very thankful to both him and his wife for that donation. These types of services, SVA, typically we act as a resource hub for veterans on our campus. Not just veterans though, active duty and reserve military, their dependents, and then supporters also. We're a very inclusive organization, and our goal is to better the lives of military and veterans and their dependents on campus. I also work as the new legislative, one of the two legislative directors for the state of Michigan for the VFW. Over the last 6 months through my legislative research fellowship that I was awarded by Student Veterans of America and the VFW, myself, my co-director, and several others have been advocating at the congressional level with the entire Michigan delegation, focusing on toxic exposure, patient advocacy, disabled veterans issues such as automobile access, the biggest issue of which currently being focused on is toxic exposure. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have about the legislative priorities for the VFW at this time. But we're currently in convention in Flint at the moment, which is where I'm dialing in from. I would recommend if you're a veteran and you've been to a base or a area that had burn pits or K2 Uzbekistan, where it's known for having issues with toxic exposure, register for the burn pit registry. Not enough people, not enough veterans are registering with this. That list helps ensure that when it is identified that there are known issues that have resulted from those bases, they have a list to contact you so that you can get your illnesses taken care of and looked at. So I highly encourage registering for that burn pit registry.
how would someone do that? Is there just a little direction?
Yeah, so you can actually go on va.gov, and let me just pull that up really quick.
Cam, can I say something?
Yeah,
While
please.
you're looking that up? Sorry,
Yeah,
it's Amy.
please.
I am so thankful that you are bringing that up as a organization, because in compensation and pension, with one of my areas of responsibility, that is a hot button for us. We are working tirelessly to get our veterans of the Agent Orange exams, the Gulf War registry, the burn pit, the airborne hazard registries. And these are resources that all veterans are entitled to. So I'm so thankful that your organization and you as a representative of the VFW is talking to them, because our VSOs just can't keep up that are here. So I just wanted to thank you.
Hey, thank you, Amy. I really appreciate it. And to answer your question about how you would register for the burn pit registry, the easiest way is to go to va.gov. In the search bar, you would type in VA burn pit registry, and it is the first link that pulls up. So it'll say VA burn pit registry, and it will give, there's instructions on, is this for me? You can log in to check your eligibility, and then you would register as long as you meet the eligibility requirements. I cannot stress enough, and thank you, Amy, for backing me up on this. I cannot stress enough the importance of registering if you're eligible for this program, so that once these laws that are going through Congress are passed for presumption of benefits, they have a way to identify you so that they can get you the care, the VA can get you the care you need when you need it.
Cam, is there a timeline on that legislation that you referred to?
Currently, give me 1 second. Just switch screens. So there's two acts that are currently sitting. The PACT Act is sitting with the House Veteran Affairs Committee, and that covers 23 illnesses, and is waiting on a bill number. I believe it's being sponsored by Congresswoman Slotkin of Michigan. The other act is the True Cost of War Act, which only covers 12 illnesses and is sitting with the Senate Veteran Affairs Committee. So these two acts have combined, I think, 13 separate bills into two more or less super bills, so that focusing on the presumption of benefits, meaning if you're in an area that's identified or known to have caused toxic exposure, and your illness is a recognized illness, you are automatically assumed to have service-connected disability for that illness. Can you correct me if I'm wrong on that, Amy?
Okay, I didn't know if I was muted or not. Sorry.
No.
No, you're right. And, I'm also the environmental health coordinator here. So for your catchment as well, they have me wearing many hats, and I handled 22 counties in Michigan. But yes, you're absolutely right. And I encourage all veterans to sit down with a VSO or a service organization and side by side with myself or one of the enrollment coordinators, so that we can get them all the benefits they're entitled to. But yes, absolutely. Just having any kind of service time, whether boots on the ground or any enlistment during any of these airborne hazards, open water hazards, they're entitled to at least let me help them help you, kind of thing.
Exactly. And one of the nice things about the VFW is you have the VSO access as a member of the VFW. You have people lobbying for you at the state and federal level. You have post, district, department, so state level, that all of these people are doing everything they can to make sure that the individual service members are taken care of and that they're receiving the care that they need, and that our nation is doing what it can to do right by our veterans.
Cam, I have a question for you. What
Sure.
would be some other avenues that we can get the information out to the veterans? Because I mean, we do mail, we're talking to them word of mouth, we're doing internet, you know, I mean, we're not cold calling, because I wouldn't answer it if somebody random called me. But I mean, I'm very passionate about our men and women that serve this country and everything that they're entitled to. And I just want them to have all the information they possibly can. So as an enrollment coordinator, environmental health coordinator, compensation pension coordinator, how can I assist in that? And how can I assist your organization in doing that?
Definitely. I think so. Each service organization, I mean, VFW, the DAV, American Legion, the best way, what I would recommend, since you're with the Department of, or you're with the Veterans Health Administration, is contacting the state levels of each organization, because they'll have a legislative, or they'll have directors that can disseminate that info from the top down. That would probably be the easiest way, in addition to typically with SVA, would be another good route at the college level, is partnering with the Student Veterans of America chapters to try and do outreach at the university level too. Unfortunately, the service organizations are still in a phase where we're trying to get younger members in, and it's a little bit of growing pains as we transition from one generation to the next of warfighter. So organizations like Student Veterans of America are critical in reaching the younger generation of veterans, and specifically at the university level, where they may not think that they need these benefits now because they're young and healthy, but a lot of these medical issues, as I'm sure you're aware, Amy, are coming 5-10 years down the road, and then they're trying to play catch up. So being aware of these programs is important for people my age and younger, so that if something were to happen, they know where to go, and who to talk to immediately, rather than trying to figure it out when they're not faring well.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, I would rather every veteran sit down and get enrolled within the health system with me. So it's there. They may not need it right now. They may not need it for 20 years, and that would be fabulous. That's what I would hope for, but at least you're in the system and we can get a jump on things that could come up within the future. So yeah.
Definitely. And I would love to, sorry about that. Didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay. I was just, a question came in that I think is designed for you, Cam, but if anybody else has expertise in this area, please jump in. The question is, does the VA help or assist with end-of-life planning, for example, wills and trusts?
I do believe that they do. Give me just a moment.
We're getting a heavy nod from Amy. I'm thinking she knows the answer to this.
Yeah, Amy, do you want to take the lead on that?
You want me to take over for this one? Yes, anybody that is at least an enrolled veteran, and when I say enrolled, that means they have been made part of the VA health system. Okay, so all veterans are eligible for help. It's a matter of where they fit in the priority groups based upon different parameters. That's why I asked they all sit down with me. But anyway, there are social workers at the VA that help with that. They help with the living will, they help with durable power of attorney, they do help with end of life. And at least here at my location, there is a palliative unit. So yes.
And to kind of piggyback on that also, that's another good reason why for joining service organizations. A lot of the service organizations provide additional financial support to the families for members that have passed away. So for funeral costs, in addition to funeral ceremony, honor guard, etc.
And then
If I can chime in here real quick, on the end of life, end of stages of life, for the folks that are not enrolled in the VA healthcare system, and they for whatever reason aren't planning on doing so, we do have a list here in Muskegon County, and most of the county veteran service officers, or most of the departments of Veterans Affairs in the county, have a list of pro bono lawyers that work around the country to assist veterans for whatever those needs might be.
That's nice to know. And Cam, a question also came in about the GI Bill. That's a pretty big umbrella. Can you distill that down a little bit and say what type of things that it does cover?
Yeah, so it covers quite a bit. I've managed to make my GI Bill work for me quite well, and then some. So the GI Bill typically covers, and I'm not as familiar with the Montgomery, just because I served during the post 9/11 GI Bill era. But with the post 9/11 GI Bill, it covers tuition. You get a book stipend each semester, based on, and part of that has to do with whether you're part-time or full-time, a housing allowance. Usually the housing allowance, if I'm not mistaken, is at the pay grade E5 pay rate. You also have the ability, if you're a disabled veteran, they have a program called, it used to be called Voc Rehab, now it's VRNE. And that is meant to help disabled veterans then become employable. So that will also cover, it's not, so the GI Bill, you can pretty much use it as long as you're degree seeking and the courses are in your degree program. You can do most degrees with the GI Bill, whereas VRNE, it needs to be, it's a lot more specific on what you can and can't use the funds for, but they will cover tuition. You get a housing allowance, any certifications that are required for the job that you're training for that you'd like to go into, they will reimburse you for that. They'll reimburse parking for the university. There's a lot of stuff you can do with that. The other thing, jumping back to the GI Bill, a lot of people don't know that you can use the GI Bill to study overseas on study abroad. So, for example, with Grand Valley, I did half of my degree on exchange in Australia for 2 years. The way that I did that, Grand Valley has partnerships with universities across the world, 2 of which they have in Australia, Macquarie University and University of the Sunshine Coast. When you're using your GI Bill overseas, there is a VA, there's a VA spreadsheet of what universities are allowed to use the GI Bill with. As long as it meets, it's on that list, you can study abroad there. The trick is that it needs to really be a partner university because it has to be billed through your US, through, for me, Grand Valley. So even though I was studying in Australia, I was paying Grand Valley tuition at the Grand Valley rates. And so my GI Bill was able to cover my tuition, my housing stateside. Yeah, go ahead.
I know, I think you had me when you said University of Sunshine Coast. How do you say no to that school?
Right.
Yeah.
So I actually was accepted to my master's program there, completely doing it in Australia. And unfortunately, because of COVID, that's on the back burner for a couple of years now.
Ouch.
But the cool thing about studying abroad, though, specifically with Grand Valley, is that Grand Valley does any course that you do abroad, it's on a credit, non-credit basis. So as long as you pass the class by the host university's standards, it comes back as passing at Grand Valley. And I mean, you get to see the world. So what more can you ask for?
Why not? Well, Cam, we want to thank you. I know you have a session to get to there in Flint, so we'll let you get to that. So thank you very much for all that you added here. And we're going to move on to Michael, who is with the Muskegon County Department of Veterans Affairs. Michael, tell us a little bit about what goes on there.
Good morning or good afternoon. Every county in the state of Michigan should have a Department of Veterans Affairs. We happen to have a very unique one here in Muskegon County. We are a millage-funded department, and the taxpayers actually voted 2 years ago at an 85% approval rate to continue us operating, which is a wonderful thing. It doesn't bring in a lot of money, so what we've done is we have an
Oh, I think Michael may have frozen up on us there. I don't think it's just me. Amy, I can see you. Is he frozen for you too?
He is.
Well, okay. So while he's
offer their services.
Oh, he's back.
Michael, you froze on us there a bit, and you just now thawed out.
Yep. Are we back again?
Yeah, we lost you for probably 15, 20 seconds. So
awesome.
If you want to back up a bit there.
So that was the end of my speech. Okay.
I appreciate that. See, I'm going to go his route.
So we have 4 accredited service officers. We have a group called WINC, Women Injured in Combat, that we provide space to. They help women who have suffered military sexual trauma in the field. We have Volunteers of America in here that provide housing assistance for homeless vets, as well as job assistance and employment assistance for people, any veteran or veteran's family member looking for work. We have a PTSD support group for the family members, led by a Vietnam vet, 2 Purple Heart recipient, and his wife. We have an AA group here that is founded by 2 of our graduates from Veterans Treatment Court for alcohol abuse. We have the chaplains that are here, and we opened our doors to 4 different federal VA people here that come in and help with employment or housing or what have you. We do the state minimum like everyone else does in the county. We provide assistance with your burial allowance, and we provide assistance with headstone placement and soldiers and sailors relief. But we do all the other things too, as well as helping the veterans or their widows apply for their benefits with the VA, and or help them apply for trust fund money, what through the state. So being a county department, any money that we receive from our county taxpayers has to be spent on a veteran that lives in Muskegon County or their family member or their widow. So that would be the soldiers and sailors relief component. So if somebody from Muskegon County came here and wanted to have help with their utility bills, we can help them. If somebody from Ottawa County came here looking for assistance on their utility bills, we cannot help them. But we're not limited to by county boundaries to help a veteran file for VA disability claims. It's not monetary for us. So we typically see Roughly 300 veterans a month come in here, or their widows or family members, looking for some kind of assistance. And probably 25% of that number is from Northern Ottawa County or Southern Oceana County. We are happy to file any claim we can for any veteran that or the widow that wants to have the ability to file for those claims. Our success is pretty good. We've had it's roughly about a 15% decline or attrition in population over a 4-year window, with about a 7% increase in VA spend. That's a 22% swing. It should have went down 15%, but because our service officers are very active in filing those claims and getting people into the VA healthcare system, the VA is spending more money in Muskegon County than they were when we had more veterans, which is a positive thing. We also operate a food bank here for veterans that is funded by donations, whether it be food donations or whether it be monetary donations. The interesting thing about that is that those are funds that are donated. They're not millage money. They're not taxpayer money. So with those funds, we provide food through our food bank to any veteran that comes here that's hungry. I don't care if they're from Oceana County. I don't care if they're from Ottawa County. I don't care if they're active duty Coast Guard and they just need a break for the week. We can help them with the food bank funds, and that's a great thing to be able to do. And if we have excess funds there, we use those funds to help them pay utility bills if necessary. And it's important to point that out because the millage money under the state law, Public Act 214, prevents us from spending any of the millage money on a peace era veteran. So a peace era veteran is someone who served in that 15-year window from May 8, 75 to August 1, 1990. They don't get to have any of that soldier sailors relief money. But we have all that money that comes in for our food bank or general assistance, and we're able to assist them with that or through our state grants that we apply for every year. We do have a veterans van. It was donated to us by My Auto about a year and a half ago. And we use that with volunteer drivers to take veterans who are homebound without transportation. We bring them to grocery stores. We bring them to their medical appointments. It may be Wyoming. It may be here in Muskegon. Anywhere in the area, we'll take them to and from. We have a guy that his grocery store was the local party store down the road. So he was living off of the frozen foods or the boxed foods. And he now gets to go to Meijer's once a week, and it's a good day outing for him. And it's a wonderful thing.
Yep. Hey, Michael, just in general, if a person wants to get signed up and get started to receive all these services, does that start with a visit to your office or somewhere online, or how would that happen?
Right here, they can call our office. They can schedule an appointment with anybody here. If they want to see a service officer, they can see a service officer. If they just want to see about getting those.
Did he freeze again?
He froze again.
Gotcha.
So actually another question did come in, and I think it's probably more in your bailiwick there, Amy. So I'm going to ask it while we thaw out Michael a bit.
Okay.
It said the question reads, I'm enrolled in the VA system here.
I'm broken again.
You were broken. I'm in the middle of a question to Amy. Let me come back to you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm enrolled in the VA system here in Grand Rapids. While traveling, can I access medical help at the VA in other states?
Short answer is yes. You can. You can get care within the VA, or you can get care outside of the VA with the Mission Act. So he would just need to, she, I'm assuming, I apologize.
It was from a gentleman named Gary. So you were
okay,
correct.
Good. So I was right. He would just need to present at whatever VA he's at nearby and tell them who his home VA is, and then somebody from their enrollment department or what have you, at least that's how it's set up here in Battle Creek, would pull them through the system. But yes, absolutely. Traveling veterans can seek care at any VA. Great. If they're enrolled.
And Michael, we kind of lost you. You were talking about you can call a VSO, and then we got to see you as a statue for a bit.
So absolutely, they can just call our office at the 724-7143 number. They can email us our email is on our website for the different people in the office, and we will respond. We will set them up those appointments. We really try to reach out, and this is not everyone does this, but we really try to find the widows of the veterans. We have a lot of veterans who are too stubborn and they don't want to go talk to the VA because I'm a Marine and I'm mighty. Well, you know, the veteran may have never received services with the VA or from the VA, but if we can pinpoint or tie his time in service or her time in service to the cause of death, we can still apply for benefits for that widow. And we've been very successful at doing that. One widow not too long ago received her very first lump sum check of $197,000 because we went ahead and our service officers did the research. And even though her husband never received any VA benefits in the past. So we encourage the widows to contact us just as well as the veterans themselves. And we don't care when they served, because you could have received any kind of injury, whether you served in peacetime or wartime or wherever you might have been.
And in general, the structure that you just put out there, would that apply to any Michigan county? I mean, it does. I mean, what you described, is there anything that's unique to Muskegon, or if someone lives in Alpena or Grand Traverse or Ottawa or whatever county they might live in, would that be
Each
similar?
county operates their own version of a department. Ours is unique in that we have all those additional services. Most of the counties in the state of Michigan will offer the trust fund assistance, the soldier sailors relief, the burial allowance, and the headstone placements, and they'll help apply for claims. All the other things that we do here are all unique to Muskegon County.
Okay. All right. Well, I think, Michael, I don't think you had a hard out, so we can leave you on the Zoom here. So if anybody has any questions for you as we move on, we will bring you back into the game. Is that okay?
Be happy to stay.
All righty. So we're going on to Cal. Cal, you are with the Ottawa County Community Mental Health Department, and we'd love to hear more about that.
Thank you, Scott.
Mhm.
Community mental health provides treatment for Ottawa County residents who have the more severe chronic disabling mental health disorders. We also administer funding for substance abuse treatment for Ottawa County residents with Medicaid, no insurance, and so on. My team is called the Access Center, and basically we function as the admissions department for community mental health. So we determine eligibility for our programs, but we also spend a good deal of time and effort helping people get connected with mental health, substance abuse, or other treatment services, either because they may not qualify for our programs or because another program might be a better fit for them. So we try to link people with the most appropriate service, best fit for the kind of problems they're dealing with, also taking into account other factors like where they live, insurance, things like that. And what we have found is that a lot of people who call us are kind of confused about what do I do, where do I go, how do I get help? So we try to take kind of a navigator approach, helping people figure out what are their best options for treatment. When we get calls from veterans, we try to link them with a veteran navigator whom we work with, Eric Miller, part of our regional body. Eric has very specialized knowledge of the resources available to veterans. A lot of times the calls we get from veterans, they're more comfortable or they would prefer speaking with someone who may be another veteran, someone who could better understand what they've gone through than a civilian therapist.
Certainly.
And that can be very important. And we're also sensitive to the fact that reaching out for help is not the easiest thing in the world to do. A lot of people are hesitant, both veterans and non-veterans are kind of hesitant to reach out for help. Maybe it's because they fear the stigma or just the unknown, not sure what's going to happen. And it's not easy opening up to some stranger who's asking all kinds of very personal questions. You're not sure where this is going to lead to, and are they going to think I'm crazy or lock me up or what have you. So we try to be sensitive to those kinds of issues and concerns, try to reassure people that mental health problems, substance use issues are very common. They're not a sign of weakness. They're not a sign of any kind of character issue. They are illnesses that we humans can get afflicted with.
To that matter, Cal, it's fantastic that you're addressing, the almost the unspoken side of it. But did you want to just kind of reinforce the confidentiality aspect of it to further make people comfortable?
Yes, that's an excellent point. We are bound by strict confidentiality rules. These aren't just rules, they are laws that we are bound by. That applies to both mental health and substance use. And actually, substance use confidentiality is even tighter yet. So when we take information from someone, if they're willing to meet with us, talk with us, we take information. We cannot disclose that information without the person's permission. Now, there can be exceptions if there's an immediate emergency, if someone were to say they were possibly going to kill themselves that day, well, we would likely have to call the police.
Sure.
Child abuse, neglect, there are some exceptions where by law we must disclose, but those are situations where there is either an emergency or some significant risk to someone.
And then further, a question came in that says, is depression a systemic of PTSD from military service? That's how the question is written.
I can't speak to how a diagnosis might affect veterans' eligibility or benefits within the VA. I'm not sure if the question pertains to that. In general, I would say that depression and PTSD often go together. We get a lot of requests for treatment for PTSD and depression, and the two, frankly, mix very often. Anxiety, depression, and PTSD are the three most common requests we get for services, whether it's veteran or non-veteran. And those conditions tend to mix a great deal. So a person with PTSD is very often also dealing with some depression, also anxiety symptoms.
Okay. Amy, I saw you kind of nodding there with regards to that last question. Did you have anything you wanted to add on that?
Well, I can give an assist to Cal on that a little bit because of the compensation and pension piece of my position. PTSD and depression are service-connected disabilities that a majority of the veterans come in for exams for, at least in my catchment, and something that they deal with through the Veterans Benefits Administration and the service officers to get that service connection. So I think I'm not real sure what they were looking for, but it is something that is considered a service connection, and it is a hot button service connection right now in our day and age, that a lot of veterans and we see the different generations, how it's affecting them. So I mean, I can tell you right now, the biggest population that we're seeing that it's affecting us are younger veterans versus the Vietnam era and older. I think there's a stigma, like Cal had said, that our younger generation is for lack of a better term, they don't care about the stigma. They want the help, which is good. That this is my interpretation of it. And then, we have to help our older generations of veterans know that it's okay to get that help, and they are entitled to the same service connection that our younger veterans are going after.
Certainly. Well, Cal, did you have anything else you wanted to add, or you're going to stay on in case there are questions?
Scott, can I add in real quick?
Please do.
Okay, so if you think about what's going on in the war that we're in today, we are what now? We've been at war since August 1990. Yeah, we've had a much reduced force. So the reserve component folks have been mobilized to go overseas. The active duty folks, even though they're on shore duty, they've been fighting for that shore duty, that nice cushy job. They're getting called back to go individually augmented. Coast Guard sailors, Navy sailors, airmen are being called up to go for a year to be trained as a soldier to go do a soldier's job overseas. And they're not just doing it once. They're doing 1 year minimum, and it's probably 3 times in a 10-year window. And they're seeing things and doing things they did not ever expect to have to do. That's going to result in PTSD. It's going to result in depression. It's going to result in anxiety. It's going to result in self-medication to bury whatever that's there. It's going to result in isolationism. It's going to result in the ending of relationships, subsequent relationships. And ultimately, we know the number 22 a day, it's going to result in some kind of suicide attempt, if not a successful one. So the question that was asked, even though I'm not a clinician and I don't pretend to be one, is depression systemic of PTSD? I would say absolutely, without a doubt, yes.
They go hand in hand. It
Yes.
goes hand in hand. I mean, PTSD, I guess if you want to do a flow chart, if you will, is right here. And then you have the branches that break off.
Yeah.
They go hand in hand. I'm not a clinician either, but our veterans that come in here predominantly in Battle Creek were a psych facility. And so I see our veterans that are coming in here, all age, race, gender, with all the different symptoms, if you will,
Yep.
of it. But that's what it boils down to. Absolutely.
And if you throw in the other wrench you want to throw into this is that you have the female veteran going overseas just as many times as the male veteran.
Absolutely.
The problem is only 25 or 30% of that force over there is going to be female. When they're going outside the wire, into the hostile communities, the hostile zones, doing what they do, they have to look over their back, just over their shoulders, like every other male does. When they get inside the friendly zone, all weapons get put away. And now they have to look over their shoulder and look over their back because there's the male threat, the sexual threat that comes with it too. And there's far more female veterans that are hopefully starting to step up and claim for that MST component, because they're definitely going to suffer through that as well. Even if they didn't get assaulted, they were constantly on edge, constantly looking over their shoulder.
No downtime.
No.
No downtime.
No downtime. Well, Amy, we have a few minutes left before we have to wrap up, but I was wondering if you could tell us a bit about your work at the VA hospital there in Battle Creek.
I am the benefits supervisor, and what that encompasses is I am over a team of individuals that I couldn't do my job without every day for enrollment and eligibility for our veterans, as well as the compensation and pension piece. So the service connections that we have discussed and the service officers, I work hand in hand with them. Also am over the decedent affairs. I am the decedent affairs officer here. Sorry, I'm in the hospital right now and they're having a test. So, yeah, there's that. And then anything I can do to assist our veterans, get them the resources that they need, get them the information they need, I'm very passionate about, and everybody on my team is as well.
Have you seen any change in the, I guess, in the services that have been needed in the last year and a half due to COVID? Has that done anything to what you do?
COVID has really made it difficult, actually, for our veterans and for myself included to care for them. I've been a part of many outreach events because we, as the VA system, tried tirelessly to get the vaccine out. So I've been all over the state, sitting in parking lots with a laptop to get any service member in, regardless of if I had a DD 214 or not. I was so thankful they made the Save Lives Act available to us to get that out there for them, so they had that option. As far as COVID and the pandemic, there's a fear factor for a lot of people to sit face to face with a stranger. So I try to make them comfortable at whatever makes them comfortable at that moment. So we do wear masks within the hospital, and we do have plexiglass shields in front of us to help them for their comfort level. But I'm not opposed to, there are veterans that need me to reach out and touch them because they need human touch, and that's what I'm here for. So I'll be the one that they need to hug or shake my hand or bump elbows. We're doing that because that's part of my role as the decedent affairs officer. I'm walking these widows and widowers through the process to get survivor benefits. I'm navigating them, finding their DD 214s for them if they don't have one. And, I guess for me, I feel that all service members and their families need to have all the information of what resources are out there for them. So I'm very passionate about that. And if I can get in touch with every single one of them, that's my day's complete.
Yeah,
they did this for me. I'm going to do it for them.
I've always said that everybody needs to have an advocate, and each one of you that have spoken today fall into the category of being an advocate in some way or another. And boy, I don't think you can ever underestimate the importance of having that on your side. A question did come in about, does the VA provide what the private sector calls a nursing home or residential care?
Oh, we do. At least not every location has one. My location here in Battle Creek does. We have what we call the Community Living Center, or the CLC. We're big on abbreviations. And so, yes, we have the palliative unit, we have the hospice unit, we have the nursing home unit, the dementia, Alzheimer's unit, those types of things. And we have the medical unit, as well as the mental health unit and substance abuse unit.
And then where are the VA facilities, the larger ones throughout Michigan? Where are they sprinkled?
There is one in Saginaw, one in Detroit, one in Ann Arbor. I'm not real sure, if you look at location wise, why Battle Creek is considered the mothership of the catchment right here, but Wyoming has a CBOC, what they call a smaller facility. And there's also, I said Ann Arbor. So there's Ann Arbor, Detroit, Saginaw, us.
Muskegon.
And Muskegon has a VA. There's Benton Harbor is a VA. There is, I consider it a sister VA over in Mishawaka, because they're right on the edge and they take care of our southwest area. There's Lansing. There's Cadillac for those up north folks that don't go to Muskegon, but I do a lot for them out there too. Am I missing any other location, guys?
Get Saugatuck in there. Not Saugatuck.
Saginaw?
Saginaw.
Yeah.
Yep.
If I can butt in too, they asked about nursing homes. If they can contact the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency, and they oversee the Michigan Veterans Home for Veterans. And that's basically a nursing home. And then the VA Battle Creek, actually, I think you guys are still doing this, right? You're doing the adult foster homes in the communities. I know there's 2 in Muskegon.
Yes. And there's the Grand Rapids Home for Vets as well.
Yeah. That's through the state. That's through MVAA.
Okay.
Yep.
And then just one last thing for you, Amy. And then as you're finishing up that question, I think Justin's going to come back on and wrap things up. But are there any services that you would put into the obscure category that may not be that well known for a veteran that they can certainly take advantage of?
Wow, I don't know, because to me, there's so many things out there. I mean, if I'm all about efficiency, which is kind of a conundrum for me. I feel like I had a gentleman come in yesterday. I'm going to give you this example. I had a gentleman that was active duty, and he was since out of active duty, but he was in the Guard, and we have a Guard base just down the road from us. So he was here on drill. He needed to be seen. He's never enrolled within the VA health system at all because he was a younger guy. And so I got him enrolled, got him set up to be seen because he had an immediate need, and took care of that. And he had told me, and he'd been out of the military for probably about 10 years. I said, did you get your out exam? And well, what's that? And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I just wish there was more information. Like when our veterans leave active duty, they kind of were given like a book, if you will. Okay, this is the next step. This is where you go. This is what you do. This is what you should anticipate, so that, you know, they're better prepared, because I feel like they get overwhelmed. So the mother in me is a nurturer, like, come here, let me help you. Let me guide you. So I'm going to introduce you to a VSO if there's one available to me. And I do have I have 3 different service organizations on site. So I'm going to introduce you to one of them. You need to talk with these people so that you can go and see if you're entitled to any kind of service connections. And then we're also going to work at getting you enrolled. And you may not need me right now, but let me help you help yourself for the future.
Yep, absolutely. So Amy's a mama bear is what I heard.
Yes, kind of.
All right, Justin, did you want to come back in and wrap things up? As we're at our time limit here.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to say, thank you so much. You guys have just been invaluable in terms of the resources and the knowledge just presented on this quick, 60 minutes here. Cal and Amy, Michael, and I know Cam dropped off earlier, but just thank you guys so much for giving up some of your time on a Saturday afternoon, on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Once again, for our vets, I have the notion that this is not the first time you've done that, given up some time for our vets, but they are worth it. That is for sure. And we're so grateful for them and everything that they do. I just wanted to throw out there the contact information for our panelists, as you can see on the screen, hopefully. And we're gonna also archive this on our website for the Expo, which is miottawa.org/veteran expo. miottawa.org/veteran expo. So I know that in the future, people are going to be watching this, and just might be helpful for anybody who has a question in the future. You can go ahead and reach out to Amy, Cal, Cam, and Michael as well. And again, just a great resource. Scott, can't thank you enough, and Fiddler enough for
thank you
partnering with us on this and so many other things. And again, just really appreciate everyone who tuned in today to the Veteran Expo. We're looking forward to doing an in-person one soon, hopefully the beginning of next year. And we will definitely be in touch. But again, feel free to reach out to our office, all these panelists that have supplied their contact information as well. And again, thank you all, and hope everyone has a great rest of your afternoon.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Much, guys. Take care.